Personally, here's where I think they didn't do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season. And I don't think she got the credit that she...
Sheryl Swoopes originally asserted that she was privy to the locker room drama of the Indiana Fever, but Kelsey Mitchell just showed her that she was mistaken in the most significant way by leaving Indiana. Mitchell didn't simply dedicate herself to the squad. She utterly dispelled any crazy rumors that were attempted to circulate.
What's up, everybody? Kelsey Mitchell here, and I'm a Fever girl again. So to my fans, to the basketball world, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. Indy has been good to me, and hopefully I can pour in and give the same. So here's a bit of Fever.
Things become even more fascinating, in addition to resigning. Mitchell made some powerful statements that will make people question her assertions. She adamantly supported Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, demonstrating why she is glad to call Indiana her second home. This story is only going to get better.
People in the Fever, we're like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
Nothing is worse than inciting controversy, unless it's done by a Hall of Famer. On Gilbert Arenas' podcast, Sheryl Swoopes has been making up things faster than a basketball on her finger, and it's time to correct her. She said that many players were eager to leave because of alleged locker room problems, but the facts show otherwise. Swoopes propagated unfounded rumors after Indiana's most successful season in years, but the success of the Fever speaks for itself.
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay,
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay.
It's a turn.
Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right?
Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody.
However, Swoopes did more than simply attack the team mentality of the Fever. She also targeted Caitlin Clark in a defender-like manner. Des for a Steal attempted to minimize Clark's NCAA score total by feigning to be 25 years old, and in her 5th season of competing against teenagers, Sheryl Clark, who was in her 4th season and had just turned 23, was predicted by Swoopes to struggle in the WNBA. How did that pan out? Clark broke 62 records and became the first rookie in almost 20 years to make the All-WNBA first team.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
Man, I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is done.
From where we stand, it appears to be speculative, and the Fever isn't buying it. Stephanie White has complimented Mitchell's significance to the future of the Fever. So what's actually happening is that she's out of touch, or is she just creating drama?
Obviously, as we get into free agency, the number one priority for us is re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. I think that backcourt was about as lethal as we've seen in the WNBA, and I'm talking maybe in history in the second half of the season.
Here's where things start to get really interesting. What exactly did Kelsey Mitchell say that made Swoopes look bad, and why is she so happy to stay with the Fever? We're going to break it all down, and I promise you won't want to miss it. But first, let's talk about some serious sour grapes, because that's exactly what Sheryl Swoopes is serving up, and it doesn't look good when Caitlin Clark wins the award for Athlete of the Year for the first time in WNBA history, aside from Swoopes.
We wouldn't be where we are today without Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, she's clearly a very foundational piece. She's got 7 years of being in and out of this building.
While Clark was a WNBA MVP candidate last year, her influence goes far beyond points and assists. She's influencing the game, growing its audience, and advancing women's basketball, especially after her historic NCAA senior season at Iowa and record-breaking freshman season at Indiana. Instead of celebrating, Swoopes played the role of party pooper on Gil's Arena, challenging the award criteria like she was an investigative journalist, asking, "Come on, Sheryl." We all know it's more than just on-court performance.
What's your reaction to Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine Athlete of the Year?
I don't think I'm surprised. I'm curious to know who the other candidates
But hold on, things will get even better. A.A. Wilson is a terrific player, but this isn't about comparing athletes. Rather, it's about celebrating a historic milestone for women's basketball, and Swoopes really missed the bigger point when he argued that Wilson should have been nominated instead.
The fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special. And my question is, like the criteria, is it based off of her performance on the court, which, yeah, she had a great year, or is it more about the impact that she had on the game this season?
But hold on, things will get even better. A.A. Wilson is a terrific player, but this isn't about comparing athletes. Rather, it's about celebrating a historic milestone for women's basketball, and Swoopes really missed the bigger point when he argued that Wilson should have been nominated instead.
Put Asia Wilson in there.
That was just basketball.
So that's what I'm saying. Was it just the performance on the court, or
it's global?
Else?
I think it's everything.
Yeah.
In that case, Wilson was only playing basketball. Therefore, I'm asking whether it was simply his on-court performance, or if it was global.
I think Caitlin Clark deserved that award. What Caitlin Clark did, because so many eyeballs were on her, she is a huge multiplier effect of that.
When questioned about Clark's time win, Indiana Fever's general manager Amber Cox didn't hesitate to label it a monumental milestone for women's basketball. She was unwavering in her support of a player who is revolutionizing the game. It's everything. Yes, it's everything. If you want to see true leadership, look at her.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
Let's talk about that change.
People think women's basketball doesn't attract large audiences, but Caitlin Clark dispelled that misconception. Analysts say she is the needle, redefining the game and making her an unstoppable force.
She and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1.
The Indiana Fever are thriving and embracing momentum and success as Swoopes continues to cast shade.
So I think Caitlin, she moves because she knows people follow her no matter where she goes, and she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
And the figures are honest. During the 2024 season, the WNBA had a huge increase in viewers and attendance. Arenas were full, merchandise sales soared, and social media was constantly buzzing. This is beneficial for all of the league's players, not just Clark or the Fever.
Kelsey Mitchell re-signed with the Indiana Fever. Well, wait a minute. No, that's not what Sheryl Swoopes said was going to happen. I mean, she was going to get out of a toxic situation, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. So, let's take a look at this. Man, I got to tell you, Sheryl Swoopes is getting crushed. Yesterday, today, after Kelsey Mitchell agreed to re-sign.
The basketball community isn't having it. Analysts, fans, and players are calling her out for spreading false information and undermining today's stars. She seems to be stuck in the past, acting as though Clark's success somehow detracts from other people's accomplishments. It's a classic case of back-in-my-day syndrome, and it's not a good look for a Hall of Famer. Instead, she's trying to put the next generation on her pedestal. Kelsey.
First of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing Kelsey how important she is to the Indiana Fever.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So everything about Kelsey Mitchell is core, right? Core values, her core basketball, everything about her is what we're about. And so there was no way she was going anywhere else but the Indiana Fever. So this is a great day for our franchise. It starts with her. Her legacy continues in an Indiana jersey, and we're off to the races now. So
Swoopes' displeasure with Clark's success raises the million-dollar question: is it jealousy, an attempt to remain relevant, or something more profound? This isn't just about one player or award. It's about the future of women's basketball at this time. Leading that trend and elevating the game to new heights is Caitlin Clark.
Anything you want to say?
No pressure. I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Indiana's been my second home since I went pro. So this is the only city I know. And so to see you guys open your arms up to me, I kind of remember every employee I run into. Whether you're a janitor, camera person, I like to be that person. And so that was a big part of me coming back because I got a chance to meet really great people.
However, Kelsey Mitchell is also a part of that movement. The player who claimed to be mistreated, Swoopes, just resigned due to a fever, ending all of the allegations of locker room drama. What is the true story? Why is Mitchell so eager to return? And what did she say?
From the moment Kelsey Mitchell stepped on the floor at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, her time with the Indiana Fever has been memorable, impactful, and historic. Mitchell, she'll pull up. Here's a three. She's got it! And that's a record!
Although there were whispers of locker room strife, supporters were not surprised when Kelsey Mitchell decided to leave the Indiana Fever. She discreetly pledged her future to the squad that had always believed in her.
As Mitchell's career in Indiana continued, the eye-popping performances and awards began to pour in.
Fakes it. Oh! Ankle breaker!
Ooh. For me, I enjoy this process and know that, I'm a pillar of change. I can be one of the ones to say that foundation was laid.
As she would cement her standing among the top players in the entire league.
Let's return. Since day one, Mitchell, the second overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft, has been the center of attention. Her journey has been straightforward, despite challenging seasons, coaching changes, and rebuilding years. But she has persisted in honing her craft each season.
I'm excited about our future, but I would never change my past. I know what I had to do to get to this point, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Tosses ahead, Wheeler extra feed. Oh, that was pretty, plus the foul.
I'm very grateful to be one of the ones that, put the bricks down.
Mitchell finished top 10 in the league in scoring in 2020, 2021, again in 2022, for a fourth straight time in 2023, and you guessed it, top 10 in scoring in the 2024 season too.
Mitchell's 2024 season marked a turning point in her career as she averaged a career-high 19.2 points per game, shooting 46.8% from the field and 40.2% from beyond the arc. These numbers demonstrate her unwavering commitment and work ethic. She started 38 of the 40 regular season games and helped the Fever make their first postseason appearance since 2016. It is impossible to overestimate Mitchell's significance to the fair. The organization backed up their praise of Mitchell's unwavering work ethic and commitment to the game by naming her a core player and offering her a Supermax contract worth almost $4 million for the 2025 season. However, Mitchell's decision to stay wasn't solely motivated by money. She referred to Indiana as her second home since going pro, thanked everyone for their support, and shared her excitement about playing with Caitlin Clark, dispelling any rumors of tension between them.